Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. Wow, we have the derby coming up. This is a clash of unequals. I mean, this is a clash with a team that is not in form. You can say it all, but for me, this is a clash. This is for me a chance for City to show who the boss is in Manchester. A chance for City to flex their power muscles and and paint Manchester with blue. That is what this is. This is a chance for us to crush United and show them who they are and where are they right now. Show them the dire straits they are in right now. United have been sleepwalking through a lot of matches against the big six, and the big six have left them to their mercy without doing anything really and giving them draws and all. We need a big six team to really attack United and show them that they're not fit for anything, that they're literally useless as a team right now. That they're useless, that the team doesn't have anything in them except one or two players. So that is what City has to do. Like the 6-1 win was a message we sent to the world that finally we have arrived. Now beating United by margin, 4 goals or more, like you can see. Like you can see on the screen, will be a message to the world that United have been finally dethroned, and City are the new kings, new kings in Manchester. This could be a message to the world that United are finally being crashed down. United fans and everyone can say we are a big club, this and that. That's fine. Can argue in the past, but we don't live in the past anymore. Where we live is the present, and the future is what we have to plan for. You can stay in the past for as long as you like. Arsenal stayed in the past, Liverpool stayed in the past, and they're still stuck in the past. Still, Arsenal think that Invincibles are the best team, and all of those things. They don't, Arsenal fans don't even, for example, concede that we have been stuck in the past, and club is not doing things well. No, they want to still live on the glory in the past. And okay, you can do that, or you can accept that you've fallen down the standards that you have set in the past, and you can grow from it. That's what United should do, if you ask me. A honest opinion from me. So let's start this off with a review of with the reaction to Pep Guardiola's press conference, and then we'll have a review of the match, a preview of the match, I should say, between City and United. So let's start. I'm sorry. I've just realized that I have not switched on the audio thing, so that you have not been able to hear Pep's press conference. Now I think it's all right. Let's start the reaction.
Afternoon, Pep. Can you hear me okay?
Press conference.
Yes.
First of all, in terms of the fitness of your squad, is Nathan Aki back in training? Because if he is, then I think that means that will be the first time this season, maybe even ever, that you've had a fully fit squad to choose from. How important could that be for you over the remainder of the season?
That's a good news for us that Ethan is back. Make to a part of the training session. He felt really good, and everyone is fully fit for. It's important for the next weeks before international break, and especially after international break. Hopefully, the people come back well.
You've been very cautious about getting excited about the position that you're in at the top of the Premier League table. But if you win this one, you could be 15 points clear with 10 to play. And then, of course, if you win a few more with the international break coming up, that could put you in a very strong position going into that break. How important is this spell of next few games going to be?
It's important, this game. It is like it was the previous one, and it was the previous one. So, and will be the next one. So, one's the time. So, just focus not on how many points we have. I know how difficult is United, and we experienced that. And last years, I had the feeling that every season is better team that there was the previous season. It's a team like a part of the quality. So more than 1 year, not losing one game away. So always they got the good results here in Etihad Stadium. But at the same time, we know the opportunity that we have to maintain, to try to increase the distance. And yeah, will be one game left, but like today we spoke and we're training. It's just what do you have to do to beat them on the pitch and the way we want to play.
As you say, these can be special games, and given the fact that they've won 3 out of the last 6 meetings, despite everything else that might be going on around the club or your club, do you feel that this means that this brings a special something extra out of the players? They take their standards to a different level.
Absolutely not. There's one game with Premier League is 38 games, is one of them. Of course, is a real contender. Is now in the second in the table. Everybody knows how important it is. Only just when thinking is the game plan to execute it as best as possible and try to to win the game.
Thank you, Fraser. Next we go to Stuart.
So those were a long set of questions from that journalist. But then, the first thing is fitness update. Nathan Ake is finally fit and he has joined the training sessions. He had 2 training sessions and he has felt really good. So Pep Guardiola finally has a fully fit squad. Not that, we were inadequate with the squad or we lacked in some position. But then, it's finally good to have all the players fit and available, so that Ake, for example, is a left-footed defender. He could fill in at left back. He could play at centre back, for example, in an FA Cup game or things like that. So it's always good to have options. And the other thing is, Pep was asked about indirectly Pep was asked by the journalist about the fact that would a win in the derby mean that that's it, we are there, we have clinched the title. So Pep has told that no. Pep has been playing it down a lot, telling that one game at a time. This is really important because Pep is really focused on the Champions League, I think, and not I think, that is the fact. Pep is focused on the Champions League, and I think he doesn't want the players to take it easy, that competitiveness in the squad to go off, that competitiveness in the squad to vanish. I think that is one of the main reasons. Why did Pep not reach Champions League final with Bayern Munich, for example? In the 3 seasons there, he had one of the best squads in the world. The reason is the Bundesliga had been won in December and January over there in all of the 3 seasons which Pep was there almost, and then there was no way that he could keep the players competitive. He could maintain that focus. This is where Pep is. One difference is Bayern Munich doesn't have, when Pep was there, even Bayern Munich didn't have the quality of the squad which City has now. See, there are potentially players like Sterling and Mahrez not finding a game. That was not the thing at Bayern Munich. Yes, good players are on the bench, but not the world-class quality that Pep is having at his disposal now. And what is this doing is, if a player doesn't play well in a match, he's going to find himself on the bench, and if another player plays well who replaces him, then the player who is out is finding it really tough to come in and to again come back. So that is what is really keeping players on the heels, and Pep really wants to maintain that. That is why he's telling next game and the next game. And I think Pep is really going for the quadruple this time. And another thing about United, Pep was emphasizing that they have the best away record, and one of the things is, I think somehow United feel that when they play away, they don't have to take the impetus on them. They can just park the bus and hit on the brake and things like that. But teams are not allowing United to do that. Pep told the last time, I think after City won the Carabao Cup, Pep told that United are one of the best teams along with Liverpool in transitions. They kill you in transitions. Dan James, Rashford, Greenwood, they literally massacre you in transitions. That's why all the teams this season, especially just like Leicester, they did counter-attack in 2016 and won the title, in 2015 and won the title. I think that is what United tried to repeat this season. But then teams have become, since Leicester won the title season, teams have become more cautious, and no team is allowing United to play that way. So for me, if you see the team which I put out, Pep will play a false 9, but then we'll look at the team after this. Let us continue Pep's press conference.
Stuart Brennan. Hi, Stuart.
Hi Pep. You okay?
Hi.
Hi. All right. Back in December, you played Fernandinho and Rodri in the derby at Old Trafford. Now, you haven't done that very many times this season. Some people, especially United people, said that that showed that either you're a little scared of United after they won 3 derbies last year, or at least you were showing them a lot more respect because they won 3 derbies last year. Do you think either of those viewpoints has any validity, you know, that you were a little afraid or a little more respectful?
They know exactly. They know for all the time when I was in Barcelona, now here, and Bayern Munich, when I play against United, of course I have an incredible respect. Sometimes the decision made in November, December, in January, last season, it depends on the circumstances in the right moment. The fit of the players, the COVID, the injuries, the many reasons, the momentum that we have, and we take the decisions. It depends for many reasons. But we are in March, so it's a long time ago. But the respect always was there. Since first time I play as a football player in Old Trafford, like many times we play there, here. Of course, I have respect. I respect all the clubs, all the teams. Of course, I would respect United. But scare is not the right word to explain when I approach one opponent. I have incredible respect, but always I think in the same time I can lose, but at the same time I can win. And always I prepare the games to beat the opponents. That's for sure, 100%. And we're going to knowing the quality that they have. I was really impressed the way they play in Stamford Bridge, the intensity, the rhythm, and the high pressing, and how brave they are in many aspects. We accept this challenge and want to do a good game to try to win it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stuart.
A very interesting thing, as per the journalist, were we really scared of United at that time? At the time after the match, many people, downplayed it and were saying that this is one of the worst performances by a City team. Pep has lost his aura, he has lost his panache and all of those things. But one thing for me is I was really happy after that match. On this channel also you would have seen in my reaction, I was very happy after that match. The reason for my happiness was City was going through a bad patch and United were flying. They were, I think, first to second in the league at that time, and City were 12th or 11th. So we could, and United were prospective title contenders then. So in all circumstances, we could not have afforded to lose that game. For one, we would have conceded ground to United, and another thing is, it would have just had a sapping effect on the morale of players. The players all would have had scars because they were not winning anything literally then. Defeated by Spurs, United. A defeat to United, it could have just spelled doom. It could have spelled end for the season. So I thought that was very intelligent by Pep. He gave Rodri and Fernandinho 2-player protection. And Ruben Dias was also just settling in then. I think he had just arrived or something like that. So I think very, very smart decision by Pep. And like Pep said, it's not about being scared. It's about, analyzing each opponent. And see, football is all about solving problems. As there are many things in life, but especially football is all about solving problems. And if you want to be the champion, you have to solve problems better. What was the problem which City were facing with United? United are great on the transitions, and City didn't have a need to win then. City just had a need to not lose then. See, what is your problem and what is your need, and how do you balance the situation? How did Pep balance the situation? Play Rodri and Fernandinho. That will ensure that we will not lose. If we can nick a goal on the break, amazing, or else you are content with the draw. That's what Pep did. And this derby, I really want us to play false nine and show United who we are, and just take them on a ride, take them to the cleaners. That's what I would say once and for all. Send a message in this derby that will have them scarred, that will always be registered in their minds that, okay, we play City, we better be careful, or else this is what City is going to do to us. So let us continue with the press conference.
Next we go to Simon Stone. Hi, Simon.
Hiya, Pep. When you played at Old Trafford in the league, a lot of people remarked that it was very unusual for a Manchester City team not to be on the front foot and really going for it. What has changed since then?
Always looks like always is a Manchester City, is not the front foot. Never the opponents. Always is Manchester City when we're not playing good. Sometimes the opponent is good, and you should ask to the players what we said in that game to try to win the game. I never said one in my team one period here in the previous clubs as well. So we're going there to win the game and approach. And you can play with 7 defenders and the mentality is win the game and you can win. And you can play with 7 strikers and be so defensive. So the approach of the team is well known for everyone, and tomorrow will not be an exception. So the game was not good because all the analysis was boring and 0-0 was not good, but we have to admit. So in that period, we were not in our best during the, in the one season to have the up and downs in the moments that we are not good. And in that moment, the reason why we start the season from everybody knows. So we were not in good moment, but the intention was try to win the game. So all the clubs in this season have up and downs. The only reason is our downs was lower on less time than the other clubs. That was the difference so far.
You've mentioned before about the international break. Have you spoken to your South American players in particular about the issues over quarantine and what you're likely to do? And
no,
is your view still the same?
No, we didn't speak. We wait this game against United, and maybe next week. I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about that. So, but I think it's no sense, when players go to the national team and come back, and after 10 days cannot play. It's no sense to go there, because we are working here incredible tough during 7, 8, 9 months. For us, international break come the real part of the season, and important players, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 players cannot play during 10 days. It's no sense. They are not going to fly. That's for sure. So if they can fly and they can play with national team, they come back and they can train against with us, they will fly. But we spend a lot of incredible hours, a lot of time, minutes, efforts, money, and the club invest in that for the important part of the season. 6, 7, 8 players cannot play with us. It's no sense. Honestly, it's no sense.
Okay, thank you, Simon. Next we go to Sam from.
One thing with Pep is people talk about Jose Mourinho being, not evolving and all of those things, not adapting to the modern game. Pep has, adapted a lot to the modern game in the sense, not a style of play, not as principles, but in the sense that, the way he's approaching games, the way he's thinking strategically, especially in that United game. Again, the question was about why didn't City attack in that United game? And, like I was talking before as well, that was situation. If City lost that game, we were out, we were doomed, we were scarred, the season was over literally. That was how bad of situation it was. That was how bad of a circumstance it was. Nothing was clicking for City at that point of time. At that point of time, it was seeming as if Pep will go off at the end of the season, even though he had signed a new 2-year deal. So that is what was happening at that point of time. So Pep strategically, Pep has really evolved a lot. He has evolved so much, I would say, and especially this season, I would say. Last season was not good, but this season, he came back. He has really put in a lot of thought into each match, the way he's going to manage players and stuff. And I think this is going to be the crucial aspect that will determine how deep City will go into the Champions League and stake a claim at winning that special prize. So strategic management by Pep is really important. Which match he plays Fernandinho, which match he plays Rodri and stuff. And also regarding the international break, I mean, it makes no sense. That's complete nonsense. Almost all of the players that City have are international players. All of them, almost. Maybe Fernandinho doesn't play for Brazil now, but almost all. But other than that, all of them, and they have to go to South America, for example. There are 8-9 players who are in Brazil, Argentina, and all of those places. So the quarantine rules are UK, you have to come back in quarantine for 10 days or something like that. So that doesn't make sense. We have Premier League matches, right? 2-3 days after the players return from the international break. So 10 without 9-10 players, how will City survive? The thing City should just not allow players to fly for the international break. It makes no sense, first of all, who conducts these international matches in this quarantine situation and stuff, who sees international friendlies and stuff, first of all, and what is the need to conduct international friendlies and all at this point of time. So now let's continue with Pep Guardiola's press conference.
Hello, Sam.
Hi there. Hiya, Pep. Ruben Diaz, speaking recently, said he's never seen hunger like in this Manchester City side. Where does that drive for the players come from? And is this the hungriest squad that you've ever managed?
Come from themselves. The desire to win and win again. So no words can inject words in the desire for the players. They come from inside to try to win, to compete or compete or collaborate more than compete with his mates to do the best we can. So now it's nice because we win. So all the theories that we are doing for Manchester City, the theories, the all the nice things they are saying is because just one reason is because we win. Now the smell when we win is so nice, it's so beautiful. But doing the same, we can lose, and that's why the perspective is calm. Is tomorrow another training session. Today we train incredible well. Tomorrow it happen the same. We're going to get our neighbors, to do a good game.
And is it the hungriest side that you've ever managed?
I had an incredible hungriest teams in my career. That's why we were lucky being together. In Barcelona and Bayern Munich, I had as well incredible hungry teams, like you cannot imagine. To do what we have done, of course, in these 4 years. So after winning, still winning, after winning, being there at the end, after winning, still winning, is because these guys have something special, like they have in Barcelona and Munich.
Thank you, Sam. Next we go to Per Carlson.
I mean, where does the hunger in this side come from? To capture 4 trophies, to do something that has never been done in the history of world football. You need a squad that is not just hungry, not just motivated, but a squad, that plays for each other. Having hunger is fine. There are many squads, like Pep said, Barcelona he has managed, Bayern he has managed, that has hunger. But then, what differentiates this current City squad from those squads is, playing for each other, helping each other out. It's a competition, but it's a healthy competition. It's a hunger, but the hunger is also to make the other person better, to play for the other person. There was an instance when, I think it was against Liverpool, when Ruben Diaz made a tackle and he was doing high five with John Stones. Against West Ham, when John Stones scored the goal, Ruben Diaz was doing a high five with him. When Ruben Diaz makes a tackle or a block, John Stones and the other defenders go to him and they're celebrating. Appreciation of all of the small moments, that is what really creates a championship team. Appreciation of small things done by each player on the pitch. It increases that sense of feeling in him that, okay, we are a close-knit family here. No one is competing for each other's place here. Everyone is playing so as to make each other much more better, and that is what is really required to create a champion team. That is what you can see in great teams, great companies, great organizations. That leadership which makes each of the people who work in that organization work for each other, work to make each other better rather than compete against each other. That is where the hunger comes from. That is where the desire comes from. And this work ethic, this ethos is really very difficult to instill. That's why you can have a great manager, you can buy all the great players. Like what is happening at Chelsea? I would say Chelsea's bench and City's bench, how much of a difference is there? Not much difference. People like Pulisic and Giroud and Werner and sometimes and Chilwell, all of those sitting on the bench. So what is the difference between City and Chelsea? That is where Lampard got sad, unable to instill that sense of ethos in the team. Instill that sense of belongingness in the team. A lot of players believed alienated for the team. They believed that, for example, Werner believed that he was competing with Tammy Abraham But here, Gabriel Jesus believes that he has a lot to learn from Sergio Aguero. He has a lot to, he has a lot to discover from Sergio Aguero, but the positions he takes and all of those things, and that is what is the essential part of what really keeps the City team going. Let's continue with the press conference.
Yes, hello, Pep.
Hi.
So it's currently the best team in the Premier League against a team that hasn't lost away from home in 21 matches. What is going to be your biggest challenge with this Man United side, in your opinion?
They are so strong in all departments. Defensively, in the midfielder, the quality. His playmaker Bruno Fernandes, and the people up front, the speed they have, the pace with James, with Rashford, with Martial, the experience with Cavani, one of the players I admire the most, and for his career has done how he lives his career. So yeah, it's Manchester United. So it's not. So all the time, United is a top class. For us, it's a privilege, to compete with them, being there in the last seasons, be in front of them. So, and tomorrow is not the exception. We're going to be ourselves the after tomorrow. This is my target, our target, to do what we have done lately, be ourselves.
Thank you, Pep. Best of luck.
Pep is indirectly telling United, he's telling some nice words for United. This in a sense means he's sending United a quiet message. We are coming for you. We are coming to hunt you down. We are coming to destroy you. And especially spoken about Bruno Fernandes and Martial. Martial is out of form. Especially spoken about Bruno Fernandes. I think they're just going to mark Bruno Fernandes out of the game. I think Pep is going to play a false nine and just swamp Bruno Fernandes with no room to operate. I think that is what is Pep's plan. So this is just a cheeky message to United that we are there for you. We are coming for you, and we'll just clean you up. We'll show you who we are. Pep doesn't want a 1-0, 2-0 narrow win. He just want to wipe the floor with United with no disrespect to United. That is what Pep wants.
Ian Laderman, Daily Mail.
Hiya, Pep.
Hi.
I would imagine this is looking like being a very good season for you. We don't know yet how many trophies you may win, but I would imagine when you look at this team with some of the young players that you have, and maybe with the potential to improve, and maybe with a couple of additions to come, I would imagine you can see a squad that has reached nowhere near its potential yet. Am I right to think that?
If we didn't get the real potential.
Well, I would imagine that when you look at it, you can see an awful lot more potential to come in the future from this team.
Of course. Yeah, definitely. That's why we are here. Always we got to think we can do better, for sure. Yeah. But after when you win, it's about the relations between all of them, how we handle the good moments. So listen, and when you win something, it doesn't mean we're going to win in the future. That is what I learned in my perspective. So all we have to be the warnings. I remember when we won the second season, so it's open now for Premier League. It's come one era for Manchester City is going to win the next 5 years. Won the second one, and after Liverpool extra win his Premier League, and then people say is going to dominate the next 4 or 5 years, the new areas from Liverpool, and look what happened. So that is the best example. So the best example in the sport is a reality, and the reality is tomorrow, the after tomorrow, tomorrow training session, the after tomorrow, and we will see what happens. And after in summertime, sit down with the club, take the right decisions for the best of all of us, and start to next season. Is the only way I think I believe completely. So I don't believe at all when the people say no, it's coming a new project for a long time. Football is what you do today, and so far we were magnificent. We cannot deny it, but in March nobody wins titles, and still there are many tough games. But I see something in the team, like is everybody commitment, and it doesn't matter who plays, everybody gives everything, and after tomorrow we want to do it again.
Guys, last couple of questions now before the embargo.
See, that's what Pep's telling about. It's not about having players with great potential in the team and things like. There have been teams with great players, but they've not been able to gel together, and teams have been dismantled. Teams have not been able to win anything. It's like Pep says, it's all about the relationships. Like I was telling before this question as well. Like it's all about maintaining that uh, that comradeship in the squad, maintaining that friendship in the squad. When a player sits on the bench, and when a player plays, he should not imagine that his position is under threat, but he should in fact look at that as an opportunity to learn from the player who's playing. Okay, he's playing, what can I learn from him, how can I get better? That will enable me to come back into the team. And the player who's playing as well, he can say, okay, what an attitude for another world class player to have, that he's sitting on the bench, he's willing to learn from me. Why can't I learn from him when I can learn from him? So that's how you develop great teams. When you see all the great teams are made of great players in great teams, great organizations, and great friends. They have that sense of close knit family thing, close knit comradeship, companionship in them. Because okay, good moments are fine, good moments are it's fine for everybody, but in the bad moments, what happens is, when you have these relationships, when for example a striker is going through a goal drought, you have players around him putting arm on his back and saying, don't worry, we are there, we'll fill in. De Bruyne was injured, Gundogan filled in. Gundogan was not there, Cancelo filled in. John Stones is not there, Aymeric Laporte comes. Aguero's not there, Gabriel Jesus filled in. Bernardo Silva fills in. Riyad Mahrez fills in. No Sterling, Foden fills in. Foden sometimes does the task of playing as a false nine when he has never played that position. So all of these things, players accepting responsibilities, players accepting the fact that, okay, what can I do to make other players better? Okay, will me playing this position make the team better? Players willing to sacrifice their preferred positions in order to make the team better, in order to let the team achieve great goals. That is what goes into the making of fantastic teams, making of legendary teams, making of teams like AC Milan of the past, making of teams like United of the past, making of teams like Real Madrid of the past, which won Champions League. So it's the comradeship, it's all of those values. Basically, people say talent is important, and I in a team, and I disagree. Talent is important, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is your willingness to learn, your willingness to work your backside off, your attitude to learn new things. That is what matters in a larger context. With talent you can win a couple of matches, but with the attitude of sacrificing yourself for the team, with the attitude of making each other better, you can win championships, you can rule the world. This is what it takes to rule the world, the relationships between players helping each other out. Let's continue with Pep's press conference.
We'll go to Dom Farrell next.
Hi there, Pep.
Hi.
Following from Ian's question, really, if you do win the league this year, you'll be the first to regain the title, to win, to lose and win again, since Alex Ferguson in the same period at one club. I know you say it is all about day by day, but when you signed that new contract, was it a motivation that you can make history at this club and there's the conditions for making that sort of history?
I'm not so presumptuous to think when I sign I'm going to make history, and just to think about if we can win one game and at the second one, and we are able to play the team like the way we want to play. So this is the only target. The titles are a consequence from something more deeper than say I'm going to do something here. Well, when I arrived, I was scary. I would have doubts about if we were able to do it. I know what you want to do it, but I didn't know we were able to do it. And this is the only thing. So I'm not a guy who imagines what is going to happen if. So the reality is our team to face a good team, and this is after. When do we achieve it? Dominic, you asked me the question, what I feel, what does it mean, and after I will answer you.
Thank you, Dom. Final question for the embargo. We'll go to Fred Caldera.
Hi, Pep. coming back to the international break issue, you said that these conversations are still to take place with the players. Do you expect them to understand that it might not be the most reasonable decision for them to travel to countries that are in the red list of the UK? Do you expect them to understand this?
Mira, Fred, we want to let them go to the national team. I know how important for them as they are. I will never say don't go with your national team to represent your country and you play for, to prepare for European Cup or American Cup or whatever. But there's no sense going there and after 10 days, no training session, being at home, 10 more days, 1 more week. When we play for the league, just in case we go through for Champions League, qualifying and Champions League, and we are not playing with these players. They are not going to fly. We're going to be, I don't know what's going to happen, but they are not going to fly for sure. So, or UEFA or FIFA make something special. So we follow the protocols 8-9 months. So no restaurants closed. The people at home here home here home. In the bubble, don't do it. Protect them. Test every 2 days. And after, in the important part of the decision of the league, we leave the players there. We don't know what happened. And like it's a red zone, because the government decide it's red zone, they cannot come back and then stay 20 days, 15 days without competition when we play every 3 days. They are not going to fly, for sure. So, and I'm pretty sure that all the big statements in the UEFA and FIFA, they will understand this argument. So that's for sure.
So I think regarding the international break, Pep will not allow anyone to fly. But then, like the question before, the journalist asked Pep that he'll be the one after Sir Alex Ferguson to retain the trophy. I mean, win, and then after another season gap, win the Premier League trophy again. But again, the beautiful thing, the exciting thing about Pep this season is that his laser sharp focus on the next game. It's just the next game, the preparation for the next game. These are the methods we'll use for the next game, and and this is how we will concentrate on the next game. I think that is what is really keeping players focused. Players know what is their job, what is the task in hand. They are super focused. I think this is what Pep wants to maintain it, and I really hope that the international break will not disrupt it. But then again, I think that players will not be allowed to fly, especially to the red countries. It just makes no sense, like Pep said, flying to all of the South American countries. Let's look at the predicted lineup for the United game. I mean, this game is, for me, it's all about transitions, because United can't do anything other than transitions at this moment. I was watching the game against Crystal Palace. I watched the game against Chelsea. It was it was a very hard watch. It was horrible, I would say, because no passing from the midfield, nothing. The midfielders cannot pass. The defenders are too slow on the ball. The right back Wan-Bissaka can't cross. Only Luke Shaw is playing well. If you starve Bruno Fernandes of any service, if you cut off the lines, if you cut off the service to Bruno Fernandes, there is nothing anyone can do in that United side. It's just the counter attack, and the important thing in this game will be how can Pep swamp Bruno Fernandes, and the best strategy for this is, I think, it's playing a false nine, because playing a false nine confuses the crap out of Manchester United. Solskjaer can't figure out the tactics, and tactical thing is not one of the strengths of Solskjaer, though is good in some other management aspects. So it will create overloads in the midfield, and then I don't see how United will figure that out. And my team is, Cancelo will play on the left. That's because him cutting into the right and putting those balls on the head of someone like a Mahrez or Bernardo Silva or Foden or Gundogan, that's just fantastic. So Cancelo for me is defensively more sound, has more pace than, for example, Zinchenko. Ake can't play, obviously, and Mendy is out of favor. City are apparently looking to sell him. Diaz and Stones, for me, I would not be surprised if Laporte plays on the left and Diaz on the right, or Stones on the right, because United are so good in transitions, and we have seen in the past for teams which are really good in transitions, Pep really likes to play a left-footed centre-back with a right-footed centre-back. Especially for teams which are good in transitions and which press high. So it will be interesting to see. But then, either of the combination is really good. Diaz, Stones, Laporte, or Laporte, Stones, Laporte, Diaz. Either of the combinations is really settled and doesn't make a difference. Ederson picks himself, that is obvious. Kyle Walker is essentially needed. I would be stunned. I would be really surprised if Pep, plays Cancel on the right and Zinchenko on the left. That because we really need the pace of Kyle Walker, if not anything else, especially to recover if there is a counter, if there's a break from United, if there is a transition. And Walker's attacking game has also really gone up a level. He's also making a bit of those diagonal runs. He's also tucking into the midfield. So you just imagine, Cancelo will tuck into the midfield, Walker will tuck into the midfield. City are playing with a false 9. It will be almost 4 plus 2, 6 players in the midfield. Whatever United do, United can play both their CDMs, but still they are going to be outnumbered in the midfield. That's what Pellegrini once said, when playing against Barcelona. People were saying, why don't you play 2 midfielders and things like that. It was in 2014, I think, in the Champions League match, and Pellegrini said, how many other players you play against Barcelona, they always outnumber you in the midfield, and this is what they essentially do. This is one of Pep's specials. And the front three, I think Foden picks himself. Fully rested. Foden, a week's rest, didn't play much in the last 2 games. Riyad Mahrez, bang on form, the best in form winger in the league at this point of time, I would say. And then Kevin De Bruyne as a false 9, I would say. No Jesus, no Aguero, because the point of this game is, the place where this game will be won is how do you swamp, how do you cut out the service to Bruno Fernandes, and playing a false 9 is the most essential part of this. Bernardo Silva again rested for the last game. His energy will be really crucial in tracking back and supporting Rodri, sometimes playing as a double pivot and things like that. Gundogan again fully rested almost for the last 2 games, didn't play much. I have Gundogan in my and Foden in my fantasy team, and they had 2 matches last time and they didn't play well. I mean, they didn't at all play, so that's a big loss for me in fantasy as well. So I hope both Foden and Gundogan start from a fantasy team point of view for me as well. So I think that's the squad which Pep should go. That Sterling, for me, Sterling has never performed well in the Manchester derby, especially with Van Bissaka always pocketing him. So I would play Foden and Mahrez. Mahrez excellent form, you can't drop him. Foden did nothing wrong. It's Sterling who is out of form. So I think Sterling is the one who deserves to be dropped, and also it would be nice to bring in Sterling at 60th minute or 70th minute. United will be having tired legs because they've played pretty much the same team against Chelsea, against Crystal Palace, and again they're almost playing 3 games in space of 7 days. So same team is playing. So just bring Sterling on, bring Ferran Torres on, bring Gabriel Jesus or Aguero on with 10-15 minutes to go, and that's it. United will just be destroyed. They can't do anything then. But the score prediction for me is 4-0. I just don't want us to go into this match with with the attitude of just settling for 0-0 or something like that. I really want us to send a message out to Manchester United, to the rest of the world, that Manchester United have finally fallen. The dire straits that Manchester United are in, as a team, as a football club, the way they are run, everything, this game should epitomize everything that is wrong with Manchester United, and we should be the one who should be showing it, who should be unwrapping everything and just throwing it out. I want us to take United to the cleaners in this game. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you've enjoyed this video, please click on the like button, and also do click on the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you get notifications whenever I upload new videos. I'll come back to you with Manchester United, Manchester City combined 11 video. That's going to be a bit special, and then the review of this match. Until then, take care and enjoy your weekend. Bye.